Okay, so what we're going to want to do is loosen the bolts holding the motor mounts, okay? So we can adjust this. Okay, so we're going to want to loosen these. This one right here. Okay. This one right here. All the 6mm ones, not the 5mm. The 5mm goes to the skid plate, okay? You just want to loosen them, don't take them out. Okay, go to the other side. Okay, loosen the corresponding screws on this side, our bolts. Okay, you just saw the motor kind of flop back there. That's what we want, okay? Okay guys, if you're wondering what kind of chain this is, it's a Japanese chain because this is Japan here, okay? It's a EK29 HRD 2 or HRD squared, I don't know, because it's a really small 2. Okay, EK29 HRD 2, and this is Japan on it, so this is a good chain. Okay, it's a Japanese chain. Alright, here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and install the chain on the front sprocket. Okay, this is the spring washer, by the way, for the old pulley. I don't think we use it anymore. Okay, here's the tricky part. To get everything back in there, alright? So, go take your chain, wrap it around the sprocket. You probably don't even need to wrap it around the sprocket. Just get it around the jack shaft first, okay? And then slide it into place. Okay, and then make sure the holes line up. If the holes don't line up, you can try to use a punch to get it all in there, okay? So on this side is the part with the bolt head, okay? Put this in there. We'll make sure it's straight first. Mine's already still got the grease I put in there last time, so I'm not going to add any new grease. But yeah. So if the holes don't line up, try to play around with the swing arm a little bit, okay? And try to get the jack shaft in there. Okay. Okay, that was easy. Okay, yeah. It's in there. That was the easiest install ever. Holy crap. That's the easiest swing arm axle install I've ever done. I've had such a hard time getting that thing in there all the time. I guess, you know, since this doesn't take up as much space, it's a lot easier to thing, okay? All right, so now we got to make sure we get the chain in there because the chain is on the jack shaft. So I'm gonna walk the chain onto there. Or we could let's take it off of this first. Okay, and then we're gonna walk it onto the sprocket here. Oh, this cover gets in the way too, man. Okay. So what I did is I opted to not put the chain on there, okay? Right. There we go. Chain's on there. Now, what we're going to want to do is probably loosen this so we can get this on here. Oops. Let me get this on there. We want to move this back, so let me get a pry bar. So I'm going to get a pry bar here, and we're going to pry up on the motor here, so it moves the motor up and it loosens the motor. Okay, let's pry it on the skid plate. Okay, you want it to go up. You'll see this bolt go up here, okay? So the farther this goes up, the looser the motor gets. Try not to damage, to pry on the motor too hard, okay? Yeah, it's too tight. I think we got to take the sprocket off again and then just reinstall everything. I don't know why you can't loosen it enough. Why not? Okay, I can't get it loose enough because I don't think we can loosen the tensioner enough. The little tensioner teeth, it gets in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out, okay? I know everything is just going to fall out though. I'm going to take this bolt out. Okay, and then I'm going to take the tensioner out. I could just take the jack shaft out again, but I don't want to. Okay, and then that should allow me to loosen it enough with the pry bar. Because the problem is the tensioner doesn't want to go any looser, so and it's like it's getting caught on itself. So pull this up, okay. Okay, there we go. That should be enough. Okay. Okay. Try to hook this onto there. Why wouldn't it go on, man? There we go. Okay, it's on there. It's super loose. Oh, it came off. Why is it coming off? Maybe it's not aligned properly, man. Okay. So now I'm going to tighten the motor. Kind of moved it by hand. So there's a little washer here with a hole in there. Just get that back into place. Well, which one was it? Was it this one? Okay. Okay. Should be pretty tight, but you don't want it too tight, alright? So loosen it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start tightening the mounts and stuff a little bit. Okay, back off just a tiny bit, just to make sure everything is kind of seated properly. Okay, that seems like it's too tight, so I'm gonna, wow, it is really tight. The chain is on there super freaking tight. Okay, yeah, just make sure there's some deflection. Okay, so I feel that's as tight as I want to make it, okay? So you can see here. Okay, it moves just a little bit, and I think that's the way you want it, right? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and tighten the bolts. Okay, so we're going to go attempt to tighten the front pulley or front sprocket of the primary drive. Okay, the counter sprocket. It's set to 37 foot-pound. 37 is the highest. Let's go with 34. The range was 30 foot-pounds to 40 foot to 37 foot-pounds. So we'll pick something in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to pick 34 is actually what I'm going to pick. All right, 34 foot-pounds. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just jam a wrench in here. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't break the frame or anything, but here we go. Okay. At some point it'll just stop. Okay. Alright, I did it twice. That should be good. 30 foot-pounds. It doesn't look like I damaged anything. Alright, so now we're going to go tighten the swing arm. Okay, so the swing arm axle needs to be tightened to 26 foot-pounds. Hayes Mega has to watch his old videos to remember how I did this, okay? This is why I make videos, so I can go back and watch them. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is put the washer in, okay? The washer goes in, and then the nut goes in, okay? This is probably a good opportunity to replace this if you have one that's not like that, so you don't have to keep on using the funky socket, but hey, I've used the funky socket for a while now and it still works, so. Okay, I'm just gonna snug it real quick. Let me get a different angle on. Okay, so far I haven't had to put a wrench on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna set my torque wrench to 26 foot-pounds. Okay, 26 foot-pounds. Here we go. Not a lot of torque. Okay, one more time. Okay, seems good. Playing around there a little bit. Okay, so swing arm is tightened. I think we should go. Let's fire up the bike and see if it works. Okay, so if it's not properly aligned, it's probably just going to throw the chain off. So hopefully I aligned it properly. Let me look at the back first. Let me look at the back. All right, I think it looks great. What do you think, guys? Okay. Make sure that it looks relatively straight. It looks kind of straight. If anything, I think the sprocket is pushed too far inward, and we may need to move the sprocket out a little bit. Okay, and so I think that's what the spacers are for. Okay, so that's what I think the spacers are for. It's to help align the sprocket. So, what a pain in the ass. Everything doesn't line up perfectly. I wish they give you a diagram of how to install this. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna fire the bike up, and we'll see what happens. Okay, first time running the Lunacycle chain kit test to see if it's properly aligned. I think that's fine. It sounds kind of loud. Just when you're looking at it spinning, make sure that the sprockets are straight. You know, they don't look all wobbly and stuff. It looks pretty straight to me. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Okay, so supposedly the torque for the motor mounts is 15 foot-pounds, okay? Or 15 newton meters or 11 foot-pounds, alright? So that's what I'm going to go tighten them to. It's basically the same as when we used for the sprocket, okay? The sprocket for the jack shaft. Alright? Okay, there's one. I tried my best to tighten it, to tighten it, you know, not over tighten it, but it just gets tight all the time. So maybe it'll loosen up, I don't know. Or break, or blow your bearings out, I don't know. Alright, okay, and then just torque the corresponding bolts on this side as well. Okay. Looks like they're pretty tight already. Okay. Alright. So we're all done with this, Let's go put the swing arm, connect the swing arm back to the linkage. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this back. So yeah, how did I do Okay, here we go. I got my swing arm bolt ready, okay? It's all lubed up and everything. If it looks kind of dry and dirty, make sure you put some lube on it, okay? And clean up the linkage a bit. But mine is still good, okay? So this is my swing arm linkage tightening apparatus here. Okay, so I've got a jack stand here. Okay, get it up to about like how it is right now. Right, so I'm like, I don't know, 1, 2. I got 2 teeth coming out of my Harbor Freight jack stand right there. Okay, so I've got that holding the swing arm up, and then what I'm going to have to do is pry up on the linkage. Okay, so I got the pry bar in there already. Okay, the pry bar is in the channel here. Okay, I have to watch my video to do this, but so you got to get it underneath here. So there's just a little bit of space in there where you can get the pry bar in there, because I have this freaking the Sauron one now. I don't think I had this the last time I did this. So and then you're gonna want to get the pry bar like that. Okay, don't put it on the adjuster, you'll mess up the adjuster on the shock. Don't put it on the shock, put it on the linkage right here. Okay, either on the bolt or the linkage itself. Okay, all right, here we go. Wish me luck. It's been a while since I've done this, so it's the third time, right? Should be pretty good at it, right? All right, here we go. So so just look at the hole in there and just try to get everything lined up. I'm gonna pry up on it and I'll see it kind of go through the hole. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go, all the way through. Now I can let it loose. I can drop my jack. All right, install the nut on the other side here. Okay, I'm gonna go torque it now. Okay, so I've got Mr. Torque Wrench set to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, that's what the torque is for this guy. Go get your 6mm and hold it on the other side. All right, and start torquing this guy. Start torquing this guy. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's 2. It just wants to keep on moving, man. Okay, that's good. All right, that's it. Almost done. All right, so now go put your foot pegs back in. Okay, so now put your foot pegs in. I'm gonna put the left side first. Okay, the torque is 26 foot-pounds. Okay, so the torque is 26 foot-pounds. That's what I got it set at here. Okay, 26 foot-pounds. Got that? I have to use this long one because okay. Why does it turn a whole lot? Okay. I'm gonna go install the other side. Go ahead and install the support bar. Okay. Yours might not have it, but if you do, install it. Slide the foot peg into the support bar, and we're gonna go put the bolts in. Alright, all done with that. Now all we got to do is put the wheel and the sprocket back on, alright? All the secondary drive stuff back on. Alright, so yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the cover back on first. Wow. Okay, it works. All right, so hopefully it'll be a little quieter when we put the cover back on. So I just wanted to double check. If I'm not sure, let me turn the bike off. I'm not sure how many of these washers are supposed to be on this side. So here I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. Okay, you could move it around and move the chain around. Okay, so go ahead and put your cover back on. Okay, but like I said, I have 5 of the washers on the outside and 3 of the washers inside. I copied the one on Lunacycle's website, okay? And I didn't reuse the spring washer, okay? And I will go over all this stuff at the end of the video, okay? But I just wanted to make that note before I put the cover back on, all right? So go ahead and put your cover back on, slip it behind the adjuster there, okay? All right. And go get your 5mm. It's a 4mm, excuse me. I apologize for the sirens. I don't know what is going on out there. There's crazy stuff happening in San Jose right now, man. Just snug it. I'm not going to torque it. Just make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn it on again and I'll blip the throttle, see what it sounds like. Yeah, it sounds almost the same with the cover on there. But definitely keep the cover on there. Oh, I will monitor to see how dirty that gets, okay? I'm probably going to take this dirt biking this week. Okay. Alright, all we got to do is put the wheel back on and the chain. Okay, go ahead and put your wheel back on. Not too hard a task, I want to say. Of course, if it's dirty around here, it probably makes it harder. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my nut back in. Make sure it's pushed up against the adjuster blocks before you tighten it. I suggest if this is worn out, you guys replace it too, because they do wear out on the light bee. Okay, torque is 42 foot-pounds. Okay. Okay. Is that my sprocket is crooked or something? Okay. It's not making a pleasant sound, that's for sure. Okay, and then just go install your chain. All right. Okay, so this is the first time I'm installing this chain with the primary drive chain on there. So yeah, I'm gonna try to move it. Oh, it's a little harder to move than the other one. The sprocket is not as meaty, is what I'm gonna say. Okay, but it works. Still works, but I have to put my hand on the chain, and the chain's all greasy and crap. So that's one drawback. I feel that's one drawback to the primary drive chain, okay? With the chain is that you're gonna have to touch the chain, and it's gonna be full of grease and stuff. So your hand's gonna get all greasy. So wear gloves. That's what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. Alright, everything's reinstalled. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Done with the install. I'm going to clean up my garage and then I'll make some closing remarks. Alright, hey, Hazemig here. So that is how you install the Lunacycle primary drive belt to chain conversion kit, okay? This is the Lunacycle one, not the Suron one. I don't know if there's any other ones out there, but as far as I know, there's a Suron one and the Lunacycle one, okay? The Lunacycle uses a 219 chain and the Suron uses a 420 chain, much like the secondary drive, okay? The regular chain. Alright, it was $65, and you know, if it saves me from having to install like 2 belts in the future, then it will have paid itself off, okay? So I'm planning to go take it dirt biking tomorrow, while I still got the dirt stuff on it. Okay, so that being said, it took me like 5 hours to do it. I'd imagine if you were pretty proficient with it and you knew what you were doing, you could probably do it in like 2 or 3 hours, okay? It's really not that hard if you think about it, but like, yeah, trying to find all the torque specs, how to stack the shims up properly, it just not having instructions just made it difficult, okay? There is no documentation on this online as far as I know. There's a couple videos of people installing the Suron chain kits, but not the Lunacycle one, okay? And I know they've sold a whole bunch of them, and nobody's made a video yet. So that's why that's why Hazemig is here making the video, okay? So when you're done, you're gonna have the 2 pulleys left, okay? So you got the front pulley or the counter shaft pulley, and then you got the bigger pulley, okay? Yeah, for whatever reason, my belt is kind of damaged. I don't know what happened to it. That's what happens when you snap the belt, I guess. Okay, so you'll have those 2 left, and I have this spring washer left. I don't know if I was supposed to install this spring washer or not. Okay, like I said, there's no manual, so am I supposed to install this or not? Okay, I don't think you'll need it because the what is it, the nut that secures the countershaft sprocket or the motor sprocket, it has a locking nut on it, so it shouldn't come off. At least I don't think so. Okay, and I hope they put that in a way where, like, when it spins, it doesn't loosen itself. I think it tightens itself when it thing. Okay. So I had 3 parts left. Okay, and then you'll be left with this guy. Okay, the little where all the shim stacks were. Okay. So from what I saw is that, well, yeah. The only thing for this is for the front, okay? And like how you're supposed to shim it, I don't know. What I did is I followed the shim stack from the Lunacycle webpage, okay, where you order the part. There's a picture of it, and it shows you all the shims up in there, okay? So if I don't know if I shimmed it properly, okay? But I looked at it and it looked pretty straight. If I throw the chain, we might have to like adjust it or something. Hopefully that doesn't happen when I test it out tomorrow, because I don't want to get stranded. Okay, and that being said, there are a few specialized tools that you'll need. Okay, and I'm gonna I put most of my tools away, but the basic stuff I put away. Okay, the stuff that's really important is you need a master link plier to take the chain off. Okay. Or you could use a screwdriver and a punch. The most important thing is you need a 3-jaw puller, okay? This made the job really easy, okay? Except that mine is kind of damaged, all right? I think I have to buy a new one, unfortunately. These tools don't last very long because they're subjected to like a lot of forces, okay? So the threads on mine are sheared. That's why I couldn't get it off very easily. So I have to adjust the teeth on this to move it somewhere else on the bolt. I guess I could have just put a different bolt on it too. Okay, so invest in one of these guys. I think in the Lunacycle, where the instructions are on the Lunacycle one, they were using a 2-jaw puller. I use a 3-jaw puller, so I guess you could use a 2 or a 3. Just make sure the claws are pretty skinny. Okay, so you can see there's a kind of more rounded claw that's bigger. And then there's a skinnier claw on this one. I had to use a skinnier one because there's not a lot of space behind that sprocket, okay? Or the pulley. Okay, so this is probably the most important specialized tool you will need, okay? Borrow one, buy one. You know, I think you can borrow them from like your auto parts store. They might let you, I don't know. But it looks something like this, okay? And then the other specialized tool you'll need is a a swing arm axle nut remover. Okay, there it is. That's the one Hades Omega made. I will put a link in the description if you guys want to learn how to make one of these. I made this, and I think I've used this like 4 times already, and it hasn't broken yet. So Hades Omega got his money's worth out of this free tool he fabricated out of a socket. Okay, so definitely was worth my time making that. Another tool, specialized tool I use is a clutch holder tool. Okay, this has the little pegs in it it grabs like gears and stuff to keep them from moving, so you could torque them. I was not expecting to use it, but it worked. Okay, the tool that I normally would use, this tool works pretty good with this pulley. Okay, when I put this pulley back on, I use this tool. Unfortunately, this tool doesn't work very well on the chain sprocket. Okay, the belt one is okay, but the chain one, this one didn't work. What really did work really good is this Tusk clutch holder tool. Okay, is what it is. All right. I don't know what else you could use. You could probably maybe try to get some kind of weird angled pliers or a vice grips or something. But this worked really, really well. Okay. Or you could put the jack shaft in the vise too. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to mess up my jack shaft. Okay. But this worked really good. So if you guys get one of these lying around, you know, I rarely use this tool, okay, and I was glad it paid itself off just now. It works really good, okay, for torquing the sprocket on there, okay. And then a pry bar helps a whole lot, okay. That's not a really specialized tool, and that's it. So yeah, definitely I think the most important tools were these two, okay. The swing arm axle nut and the axle nut socket. And 3-jaw puller, okay, and you're only going to really need this once. Alright, so if Hades Omega installed it right, he'll find out tomorrow, okay? If you guys want to hear what the bike sounds like with it all put together, here we go. Yeah, it does sound louder, okay? People are saying it sounds similar to when it had the belt, but it sounds pretty loud. Maybe I didn't shim it right, I'm not sure, but it honestly, it just sounds, it sounds like you got 2 chains. That's pretty much it. Okay, I guess I can live with it, but we'll find out when I take it for a test ride around the neighborhoods and ride it off-road and stuff. Okay, and we'll see how it works under like heavy regen and all that stuff. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, okay? But it should be fine because this chain is subjected to regen also. So there you go. That's the Lunacycle primary drive chain kit install. I installed it so this wouldn't happen. Okay, to replace this. All right. I was almost gonna install this, but they had it on their website. I'm like, hey, let's try it out. I can make a video about it. So, all right. So thus far, Hades Omega has punished this bike quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I probably ride this bike harder than like most people. Okay, is what I'm gonna say. I've tested its limits. Okay, as you can see here. All right, this is my second belt, by the way, also that's broken. So yeah. So hopefully the chain will be much more durable. Okay. All right. I hope that helps because there was like not a lot of documentation on how to install this, okay? I think the Suron kit is probably better, in my opinion, because I don't think you need to have all those weird spacers and stuff on there. I think they machined it in a way where like it just goes on there, you know? Yeah, that front sprocket, I'm not 100% on that, man. And it's got like a dual sprocket setup. It's kind of funky, man, but we'll see how it all hangs on. Okay. Oh yeah. So also before I go, I wanted to mention that is the most easiest jack shaft installation I've ever done. Okay. Having the smaller kind of chain sprocket on there, it made it really easy to get the jack shaft in there. Like with the belt. Everything takes up a lot more space, okay? So it was really easy to get the jack shaft in there. So I've always struggled putting that thing in, and it just went boop, it just slipped right in. I was like, wow, okay, that was so easy. Like I felt like I did something like really slick. All right, it's